Denver Nuggets center Nikola Jokic was named the NBA's MVP for the third time in the last 4 seasons, but this one he did not deserve.
You are the NBA's Kia MVP. Congratulations.
How's it going today? My name is Jesse McNamer and welcome to Point of View. Before we get into it today, I just want to say we always appreciate your feedback and look forward to reading your comments like the one we've got here. It's great to see some kind words in the comment section, and we sincerely thank you because I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of those at the end of this video. Also, be sure to stay tuned to the end of this episode to see if you can guess today's trivia question down below. To today's topic, did the Joker earn his third MVP award? He's touted as the clear-cut best player in basketball and has even forced the question of if this is the biggest gap between the league's best player and second best player since the prime LeBron years. First off, I gotta say Jokic is an unbelievable basketball player, and when it matters, he's been the best overall the past 2 seasons, although Luka is making a case right now. But the award is supposed to be handed to the most valuable player in the regular season, and he wasn't that this year. I get it, the MVP is incredibly objective and it's turned into a narrative-based award. I mean, Domantas Sabonis received MVP and DPOY votes this year. And the narrative that backs these votes is where I have the biggest issue because it takes away from the actual game on the court. Jokic just had an incredible season, no doubt. He put up 26 points, 12 boards, and 9 assists per game while leading his team to the 2nd seed in the Western Conference. And he's really easy to root for with the way he goes about his interviews. His most recent viral press moment came in this MVP acceptance speech. Listen in.
I cannot control it. I mean, I can control it, but I cannot control it. So if they're gonna put me in that conversation, and it's been 4 years now, so I think I'm kind of used to it. So I don't even pay attention anymore. So probably a good problem to have.
So yes, he's a top 25 basketball player of all time and a great personality, which gains him support in the media. But the same narrative that applied to past players hasn't applied to Jokic. Like, explain how LeBron only has 4 MVPs. Is that representative of his career? He was the best player in the league for over a decade, so the precedent was set then that the best player doesn't always get rewarded for it. And I'm not convinced Jokic is the best player in the league, but even if he is, it's supposed to be irrelevant for this award. He gets credit for his all-around offensive game and is always among the leaders in box score stats, so MVP voters can turn to advanced stats like player efficiency rating, and others like it to prove a point. It's an understandable system to use because there's so much that goes into impacting a game that finding an overarching number can help simplify the process. But basketball isn't played in the stats. You gotta watch the games. There's more to look at in the details when you look at the MVP award, especially when defining value. Jokic has a great, experienced roster around him. Are they winning as many games if they didn't have him? Absolutely not. But the Nuggets were much better off without him in the regular season than the other top 3 candidates' teams, those being SGA and the Thunder, Luka and the Mavs, and Giannis with the Bucks. Denver was the only team among these 4 teams to have a positive record without their superstar in the regular season. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon are just the tip of the iceberg of what is an elite supporting cast during the regular season. Now compare them to the other players in the MVP race. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander no doubt has rising stars like Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, but they have a combined 3 years of NBA experience, and SGA had to bring it on both ends of the floor every night to win. Luka Doncic has Kyrie Irving for running mate, but would you consider anyone else on that team at the level of the Nuggets supporting cast? I love Derek Lively in the gang, but it's not really that close. And Giannis has Damian Lillard and Chris Middleton, who I'd say are at that same level as the Nuggets' top stars, but Middleton missed 27 games and the rest of the team couldn't fix a light bulb without Giannis on the floor. So when looking at the total roster, Jokic could do less and still pull out a win more easily than the rest. But that alone doesn't mean he shouldn't win MVP. That's not his fault. But can we talk about something that's a touchy subject for many of his fans? Defense. In 2024, when Jokic was the closest defender, opponents made 51.1% of their shots, according to NBA.com. But I get it, he's a center, so he's not supposed to be great at guarding all around the perimeter. Fine. If we look at just the stats with him as the closest defender inside of 6 feet, opponents shot a whopping 64.7%. For SGA, opponents made 45.1% of their shots overall and 61.7% within 6 feet. Luka isn't a great defender, but opponents were 48.2% overall and 63.2% inside 6 feet. And finally, against Giannis, opponents shot 46.2% overall and 53.6% within 6 feet. All of the top 3 MVP candidates under Jokic were better defensively this season, and in the case of SGA and Giannis, they were way better. I'm not saying defense is as important as offense, but the gap between Jokic's offense and the other candidates is not greater than his gap on defense. Just look at a few of these plays. The offense can seek out Jokic and won't see much resistance. He can't move his feet quickly, he isn't a shot blocker, and his pick and roll defense is subpar at best. And a lot of the time, he can rely on help defenders to bail him out, but there's not a lot of value on that end of the floor from the Joker. So if you're wondering who I think was more deserving, I think any of those other candidates other than Jokic should have won it. I think he should have finished 4th, and any of the other players were more valuable. But the narrative was in Joker's favor from the jump, and we know a lot of the voters aren't really paying attention as much as they should. And it kind of sucks, because unfortunately it will affect the way we look back in this era of the NBA. Good for Jokic, but bad for the future of the MVP award. And if I sound like a hater, fair. But my criticism isn't reserved for only the MVP race. I don't think the Celtics are winning the championship despite the easy route they've taken. For more on that, check out our recent point of view. And the moment you've been waiting for, here's the answer to today's trivia question. We appreciate you tuning into this episode of Point of View, and we will see you in the next one.